Hi, I've been an Oklahoma attorney for 30 years, and I mostly represent self-made men and women. So rather than Fortune 500 companies, I usually have the person who is, among other things, investing in residential real estate. So I see that same mistakes being made over and over, and it's really not those that are newbies, although they make these mistakes also, but you could have been in the business for many years, and you also could have many properties. So I kind of put these mistakes that are self-inflicted that we can avoid into three buckets. And the first one is they picked the wrong property. So you've seen there's all kinds of content on the web about the math behind what is a really good property. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about getting a really thorough inspection. Not by an inspection company, although you may want that also, but I'm talking about get your HVAC contractor, your plumbing contractor, and your electrical contractor out there to look at the house before you buy it, because once you buy it, chances are it's as is. So we're stuck with it. Kind of going hand in hand with that challenge is if you're going to do any do-it-yourself improvements on that home, then make sure you understand the municipal code, and do you need a building permit? Because nothing is going to aggravate you more than if you show up one day with your crew ready to start some work and there's a stop work order on your house. So know the codes. Make sure you get that house inspected really well before you buy it. That's the first bucket of challenges and mistakes I see. The second is the lease. You know, our Oklahoma lawmakers want to make sure that before we throw somebody out of their house, there are clauses that you have to have in that lease. And if you don't, the judge, if you have to evict somebody, is not going to be happy with you. For example, are you aware that you're supposed to put all security deposits in a separate account in Oklahoma Bank, separate from all other accounts, just for security deposits? I see that mistake all the time. Another probably big mistake is I see people who put really overly high late fees. If you're charging somebody, for example, $1,200 a month, you can't charge them $100 a day late fee after the 5th. You just can't do it. That's called usury. So I have a math program that I use that tells me based on the monthly rent, here's how much you can charge in rent fees that the judge is going to be okay with. So those are just a couple things on the lease. And of course, the application, make sure you get a really thorough application as much as you can, because if you don't beforehand and you have to evict, it's going to be really hard to get any money that they owe you unless you've done that beforehand. Then the third challenge is eviction. And by the way, we call it forcible entry and detainer in Oklahoma. It's a dumb name, but that's what we call it. I call it eviction. I see a lot of people making mistakes on how they compute the days. If the statute says you need 5 days, well, it's going to be 5 days. The day that you serve the notice is not the first day. The first day is the day after that. And you do count weekends. So computing the number of days is really tricky. And a lot of people use the wrong deadlines. Again, because we're throwing somebody out of their house. They may have children. They may be a vet. There could be all kinds of challenges. The court is really going to give them all the benefit of the doubt. You have to make sure that you really are careful and thorough in your forcible entry and detainer notices and what you do when you show up at court. So because there's so many challenges, I wrote a handbook. Please take a look at it if you're interested. Thank you very much.